This lesson is on multi-step equations. We call it multi-step equations 1 because we have quite a few days on this and we're going to be adding more things that we're going to be doing. So in multi-step equations 1, we're going to be working with combining like terms. Now this should be familiar to you because last week we worked on some worksheets where we just combined like terms and that's all we did. And this just means putting x's with x's, y's with y's, numbers with numbers, that kind of thing. So here are your steps for solving multi-step equations. First, we have to make sure that we combine like terms on the same side of the equation. Now notice those are in a different color here on the video. They're underlined. You have to make sure if you're going to put them together that they're on the same side. And again, I'm just mentioning here that that means put variables with variables and numbers with numbers. So that's our first step. After that, you're going to notice some of these same steps from previous notes. Once you've done it, you've reduced it back to a problem that has variables on both sides potentially. So we want to make sure that all the variables get put to the left side using opposite operations. Again, there's no magic to the left side. You could do the right side, but I think if we have a more standard way of doing things, sometimes it's easier. After that, you're going to undo addition and subtraction. And lastly, undo multiplication and division, just like before. So here's some examples. First example, you'll notice on the left-hand side, we have some like terms. We've got 4x and we've got negative 5x. Let's go ahead and underline those to show that we're going to combine those. Those are my like terms. And when we do that, we add the coefficients, which remember coefficients are the numbers in front. So if I do 4 and a negative 5, if I put those together, I get a negative 1. And I'm going to have you write negative 1x. Everything else is going to come down. So bring down the plus 10 from that side of the equation. And we didn't do anything to the left-hand side, just bring that down as well, 3x plus 2. Now, this should look like the equations that we did on the last video. You have variables on both sides. We want to bring them over to the left-hand side. So on the right, we've got a negative 1x. The opposite of a negative 1x is a plus 1x. Make sure you're lining everything up. Line it up with its like term. And then combine. 3x plus 1x is 4x. Bring down the plus 2. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the 10. Now we've reduced it to a two-step equation. We're going to undo addition and subtraction. So here I have to do a minus 2 on both sides. Again, make sure you line up your work. 4x is equal to 8. And then divide both sides by 4. And we get x equals 2. Now the check here is a little more complicated, so we're going to show it to you once. You still take the 2 and you plug it in to the original equation. We just have a lot more spots where we have to plug it in. So 3, and then in parentheses we put the 2 in for x. Bring down the plus 2. And then on the right hand side we're going to do 4 times 2 plus 10 minus 5 times 2. And then we just start simplifying. We do all our multiplication first. So 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down the plus 2. On the other side we've got 8 plus 10 minus 10. Now we're going to simplify one side at a time here. On the left-hand side, 6 plus 2 is 8. On the right-hand side, 8 plus 10 minus 10 just leaves us with 8. So again, our goal is to make sure that the two sides of the equation simplify to the same number. It's just a little more work because we have more spots we have to plug the x into. All right, our next example looks like we've got some like terms on both sides of the equation here. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to underline the 1x, and go ahead and put that 1 in there. Get used to doing that every time you see that. And underline the plus 2x. So put those together, we get 3x. Now I want you to double underline the 4 and the negative 7. Those are also like terms. And 4 minus 7 would give us a minus 3. So we had a little extra work to do on this left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side, we are going to combine the 7x and the minus 3x. That's going to give us 4x plus 8. Notice I can't combine the 4x and the 3x. Those are on opposite sides of the equation. To do that, we're going to have to use opposite operations. So kind of remember that. If variables are on the opposite side, you need opposite operations to put them together. So here, 4x take away 4x is going to cancel. And then on the left-hand side, the 4x, or the 3x take away 4x is a minus 1x. Bring everything else down. And now you're back to a two-step equation. Add 3 to both sides. Bring down the minus 1x. 8 plus 3 is 11. Divide both sides by a negative 1. And x is negative 11. You can always go back and check your answer. And you don't always have to write your check down. You can simply plug it into your calculator and make sure that both sides are equal. So it's not a bad idea to check. You just don't have to show it every time.